Welcome to Her Legacy Garden, home of Snuggle Crumble and snugglecrumble.com, where you can visit us to order all of the sweets that we make. Today we are going to make Tremoline, also called Invert sugar, glucose. Here we've got a kilogram of granulated cane sugar, 2 cups of clean water, and 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, about 1 gram if you're going to be weighing it. Tremoline Invert Sugar is an absolutely wonderful product that you can make yourself at home. Wonderful to use in baked goods and desserts of all type. Help keep your cakes nice and moist. Here we're going to go ahead and add the sugar and the cream of tartar and the clean water to a cold, non-reactive vessel. I'm using a stainless steel pot. I do believe this was my grandmother's stainless steel pot. A lot of desserts have been started in this pot right here. So we're going to go ahead and add these, and we're going to gently stir it. I am splashing it a little bit up on the sides, but you want to try and not splash any more than that. You don't have to worry about getting everything dissolved. You just want to get that cream of tartar mixed in. Get the sugar all mixed in. And then whenever we're done with that, we'll go ahead and turn the burner on to just below medium heat. I believe on mine that comes to about a 4, a little under the 5. And then we're going to leave it there for about an hour while it cooks. We're not going to stir it anymore. Once you begin stirring the sugar after it has started cooking, it can crystallize it. And if it gets crystallized, you'll have to restart your batch over again. So we've got this turned on now. Like I said, again, just a little under medium heat. And I use a candy thermometer. If you've got a candy thermometer, definitely go ahead and put that in. Whenever you do so, make sure that you do not let the tip of the candy thermometer touch the bottom of the pan. Now here what I'm doing, I'm taking a pastry brush that's been dipped in some clean water, and I'm just washing that little bit of sugar water that had splashed up on the sides. I'm washing that off. That way we don't have crystals forming there, because if crystals form there and it touches down into the invert sugar that you're cooking, it can cause the whole batch to crystallize. So you want to get those sides nice and cleaned up. Your pastry brush should be wet, but not just dripping. You don't want it dripping a lot of water. It's not going to add so much water that it makes a difference to your measurements. As again, we're just gently washing around the edge there to get all of that sugar water that splashed, get that cleaned up. And take your time doing that. Make sure you've gotten everything tended to properly. There's no rush here. And I'm just going to go around the sides of this a few times to make sure I've got everything. I apologize for the bad camera shots there. If I'm making anybody woozy, I do apologize. It'll get stabilized here in just a moment. And now we're putting the candy thermometer in. Again, make sure that the tip of that candy thermometer does not touch the bottom of the pot. You won't get accurate temperature readings if it touches the vessel. So you're going to put that tip to where it's just below the surface. Make sure you got it turned to where you'll be able to see the reading properly. And take your time getting it adjusted and making sure it's secured properly. This way we can keep an eye on our invert sugar as it's cooking. I found this takes almost exactly 1 hour from the time you turn the pot on until it is done. It takes almost exactly an hour. And we're going to let it get up to either 114 degrees Celsius, 236 degrees Fahrenheit, or you can just go by the soft ball marking on your candy thermometer. If you don't have a candy thermometer, no worries. Wait until about the hour mark and you'll see that all of the sugar has been dissolved, and you can dip the end of a spoon just barely into your sugar mixture and drop it in some cold water. And if it forms a ball and whenever you lift it up it's firm, then you have reached soft ball stage. Now for this, I'm just going to time lapse through this next hour so that you're not basically watching paint dry, because it's about that exciting. But you'll be able to see through this hour how the rest of that sugar dissolves as it gets heated up and turns into invert sugar. The addition of the cream of tartar is an acid, and that's what helps break down those disaccharides into the two monosaccharides, the glucose and the sucrose. And it helps that chemical reaction so that it separates those into those monosaccharides. And that's what makes the invert sugar. You can also use citric acid. I have not used lemon juice myself. However, I've seen a lot of people use lemon juice. You would put about 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon juice in with your mixture if you're going to use the lemon juice as your acid. And if you see splattering up on the sides, go ahead and grab that pastry brush again and wipe the sides off there. And sometimes it can seem like it's just never going to reach the temperature that you're aiming for. Again, you're looking for soft ball or 236 degrees Fahrenheit or 114 degrees Celsius. And it can seem like it will never reach that temperature. It goes very slow until it reaches it, and then it just kind of takes off. So you don't want to stray too far away from your pot, and keep an eye on it. Check back in every few minutes. And definitely around 55 minutes, you want to stay near your pot to keep an eye on it, because when it reaches that softball level, you're going to want to go ahead and pull that off of the heat. And while this cooks, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for joining us. Please hit like and subscribe. We post recipes and how-tos regularly. If there's any recipes that you would like to see, please let us know in the comments. We'll do our best to get those up for you. We love cooking around here. Always happy to help you out with any recipes or answer any questions that you have about baking or cooking, gardening. And you can see, if you look close, like in the upper to the left of the candy thermometer, you can see a little bit of the sugar left to still dissolve. It's almost fully dissolved now. Also, make sure you check out our website, snugglecrumble.com, and that's like a snuggle like a hug and a crumble like a cookie. We make delicious homemade desserts based off of generation old recipes from my grandmother and her mother and her mother. They're available to order. You will not regret it. It's like a snuggle from the past with every bite. So if you have time, hop on over and check us out. We'd love to welcome you to the Snuggle Crumble family. Our goodies make great gifts. And this is getting close to done now. Once you've reached the temperature that you're aiming for, again, 236 Fahrenheit, 114 degrees Celsius, or the soft ball mark, you're going to want to gently take the candy thermometer out, place that off to the side somewhere safe, and then place a lid on top of your pot, and then very, very gently move that off of that hot burner, put it somewhere cool so that it can cool down so that you can pour it into your container. You don't want to slosh it around too much because we want to make sure that we're avoiding any crystals forming, because it only takes a few to make the whole pot go bad. And here we've let it cool down for about 45 minutes, and you'll see it just pours right in. Make sure that your vessel is clean. I like to wipe it out with some hydrogen peroxide after it's been washed and dried, just to make sure that there's no bacteria in there. And your invert sugar, once you've put it in a nice clean container like this, cover it with a tight-fitting lid. You can put it on your shelf. However, it's better to put it in the refrigerator, and it's good for about 6 months. Enjoy!